Well, everyone, the NASCAR Cup Series raced at Homestead, Miami Speedway today for the Dixie Vodka 400, and it was a dominating performance by Kyle Larson today. He wins. He gets his third win of the 2022 season, and guys, I called it. I said he was my pick to win in my NASCAR playoff predictions video. I predicted him to win this race, and I got it right for the second year in a row. The second race of the round of 8 on winner predictions, I got it right. So, yes. Okay, let's get started with this video. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of In the NASCAR. This is the Dixie Vodka 400 race review. So, yeah, as you guys can see, I'm going to be using this setup for the last 3 races of In the NASCAR. So, yeah, this was basically the setup from earlier in the year, from like February, from like February first few races of the season. So I'm going to use this format. So, that's just an FYI. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the race. So on the pole was William Byron and Christopher Bell. They were on the front row for today's race, and there were drivers like Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. They were the 2 drivers for non-playoff, and then for the drivers who are in the playoffs that are really good at this track. And and then Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick, they were able to make it through. Kyle Larson started like inside the top 5. Tyler Reddick at the start of the race, he was already charging up forward. So yeah. And then stage 1, I mean, there was a spin by John Hunter Nemechek. As you guys know, John Hunter Nemechek is replacing Bubba Wallace for Bubba's suspension. So Bubba will be back next week in Martinsville, and John Hunter Nemechek spun out. I think that was the only incident we have in stage 1. But guys, tire fall off was really a key factor in this race. Drivers go up against the wall. Homestead Miami Speedway is one of the most slickest tracks in NASCAR, in the NASCAR Cup Series, and it's really difficult as well. So yeah, Kyle Larson, he wins stage 1, he wins stage 2, and won the race, guys. Let's talk about the race winner real quick. Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, man, I absolutely wanted him to win this race. I really wanted him to win because over the last week he's been having to deal with the situation with Bubba Wallace, and Kyle Larson said he didn't need an apology from Bubba Wallace. He just wanted to move on, which is really good for Kyle Larson. He needs to move on and focus on the end of the season, and that's what he was able to do. He gets the win. I called it, guys. I knew he was gonna win today's race because that was my pick. He was my pick to win today's race, and I was right. And I so wanted him to win, guys. I so wanted him to, mostly because of what he has had to deal with over the past week, and because he was my main pick to win today's race. So, congratulations to Kyle Larson, man. He deserves it. He's led like almost 200 laps. Dominating performance today by Larson. What can I say? Larson has made some mistakes earlier this season that caused him to be eliminated from the championship and from the playoffs. So, yeah, Kyle Larson, he deserves this win. He really does deserve this win, and he works hard, and credit to Larson. I am so proud of Larson. If you guys know, Larson's my favorite Hendrick Motorsports driver. I like his personality. He's a really matured up, and he's a really talented driver, and he's just been maturing and growing up. So that's what I had to say about that. And so aside from that, Kyle Larson did win the race. Stage 2, let's talk about the Toyotas real quick, involving Hamlin, Truex, Busch, and Bell. The Toyotas, man, at the start of the race, in like stage 1 and stage 2, they were awful on restarts. I mean, they were tight handling on restarts. Denny Hamlin was the one that was really, like, saying something about it. Kyle Busch had a problem as well. He said the car was, like, loose or something. At the start, he fell all the way back to, like, 22nd. So, and then Denny Hamlin, he was having a bunch of trouble on restarts, and it started the race in stage 1 and stage 2, which, if you guys don't know, Denny Hamlin, he's minus 5 points below the cut line, which we'll get to the playoffs, playoff cut line later in this video, but yeah, so Kyle Larson, he did it, guys, and the Toyotas, again, Christopher Bell, he's gonna have to win next week in order for him to make it to in order to make it to the championship for who else? Oh yeah, Chase Briscoe. He's now also in a must-win situation. He ended up slapping the wall, ended his day. So sucks for Chase Briscoe. Sucks for Briscoe there. And we have Tyler Reddick in stage 3 who spun out and hit the inside wall. And it's like inside wall. Glad he's okay. So yeah, and it was right at the edge. At the end of the cut wall right there on the inside wall at Homestead, so on the backstretch. But glad Reddick's okay. So yeah, just the racing was okay. I gotta say this was a good race. This wasn't not one of the I would say. I mean, the race was kind of like in between a 5 to a 7. Let's just say a 6. Oh yeah, I already rated guys. So 6 out of 10. I'll go ahead and put the rating up here. 6 out of 10 for this race. So it was good. And there was a lot of moments in this race that happened. Like Ryan Blaney, he actually spun out off of pit road. And yes, pit road, where there was a busy pit road. Denny Hamlin actually was having trouble getting off of pit road. Almost hit Kyle Larson. Had to drove through Renan Castle's pit box. And gosh, Hamlin had a tough moment on pit road there. Besides, Hamlin's pit crew was probably the best all race, because Hamlin on all of his stops was able to gain up like 3 positions, so that's really something right there. And boy, we have to talk about the biggest one of the most biggest. Oh my gosh, yes, Martin Truex Jr. He was the best Toyota all race. He was the best Toyota all race. He had a lot of speed. I thought he would finally, after having a bunch of bad luck, he's gonna win. But that all changed on pit road, where Martin Truex Jr. spun out and ended up not winning. Ended up spun out, got tagged by Larson. It was just a little bit. It was just a difficult situation there. Nothing really Larson can do about it. Truex was late heading into his pit box, and I feel so bad for Martin Truex Jr. Man, I really want him to win a race so bad. He's my second favorite Gibbs driver and one of my top 5 favorites. I feel so bad for him, guys. I feel so bad for Martin Truex Jr. And all you Martin Truex Jr. fans, I can't imagine the pain that you guys are having to go through right now. I mean, I legit feel so bad for Truex fans. I really do feel bad. Because, Truex, he's done everything right. Like, done everything right. It's just something bad always has to happen. Like, literally, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but every time when Truex has a good race and feels like he's going to win, something bad always has to happen. And I mean, always has to freaking happen. I mean, literally. I feel so bad for Truex. But we got to talk about some key playoff drivers. Chastain, he was up there for the win. Denny Hamlin, he on stage 3, he's finally able to get some restarts, and Hamlin on turn 1 made an incredible save. I mean, an incredible save. Wow, I am impressed. I was impressed, but he was able to fall back to 5th once that happened, and yeah, so. And then Hamlin was having trouble with the handling, got into the wall, and yeah, so. Yeah, guys, the racing was good. Typical Homestead Miami Speedway typical Miami Speedway action, and yeah, congratulations to Kyle Larson, the whole team. They deserve it. Kyle Larson really deserves this win after what he's been going through the last week, and he was also my main pick to win today. Yes. Okay, so I mean, guys, congratulations to Larson, the whole team. I thought there was a spin on the final lap. People have been saying it was like Cole Custer, but I'm not really 100% sure. I might have to take a look at the results and see, but yeah. Kyle Larson, man, I am so happy for him. Great job, Larson. So yeah, this is basically what I have to say. Yeah. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the race results in the playoff grid, in the playoff standings. And here are the results. Kyle Larson won the race, obviously. Chastain second. Chastain and Allmendinger there. They had a great battle towards the end. Austin Dillon fourth. Brad Keselowski, non-playoff drivers, all in the top five. Martin Truex Jr. sixth. Denny Hamlin seventh. Harvick eighth. Kyle Busch rallies back to ninth. Running out the top 10 is Suarez. Vance 11th. Christopher Bell. 12th. William Byron. 13th. Chris Buescher. 14th. Chase Elliott. 15th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 16th. McDowell. 17th is Ryan Blaney. 18th Logano, 19th Austin Cindric, Harrison Burton 20th. Here's the rest of the results on the screen. Nemechek also spun out, he finishes 27th. And Briscoe and Reddick, they were the only ones that were out of today's race. So, yeah. So that's basically it for the results, everyone. Also, guys, I'm decided to put the playoff standings right here. Right here, guys. So, as you guys can see right there, Joey Logano is already locked in with his win at Las Vegas last weekend. As you guys know, I hated when that happened. Because you guys know me, I despise Logano with a passion. See, Ross Chastain is second in the playoff standings. He's plus 19 above the cut line. He's my champ. He's my pick to win the championship. And as long as he just stays out of trouble at Martinsville, he's moving on in the championship for with ease. Chase Elliott, again, is just stay out of trouble and just get good points, and he'll be in. I have confidence Elliott will not have any mistakes there. So, but now this is where we get to the cut line. William Byron is last. He's plus 5 above the cut line. As you guys know, Byron did get a lot of stage points in stage 1 and stage 2. Yeah, as you guys know, Byron, he won at Martinsville earlier this year, so that's something y'all need to look out for. And Denny Hamlin, he is the first driver out, minus 5, and I am nervous, guys. As a Hamlin fan, I am extremely nervous, even though Hamlin is really good at Martinsville, but I don't know, man. After what we saw earlier this spring, Martinsville is a track that just worries me. And if I took a look at the weather, for Martinsville Speedway next weekend, and it says it's gonna be raining again. No, I do not want that to happen. Otherwise, it's gonna be just like what we saw earlier this year. But I hope NASCAR did do a tire test, so I hope the racing in Martinsville is a lot more better than we saw earlier this spring. But yeah, Hamlin's minus 5 below the cut line. So yeah. Hamlin, like he said in his post-race interview, he needs to get some stage points, and I agree. Hamlin needs to qualify well. Both the 2 past races, he's qualified at the round of 8. He's qualified outside the top 10. Hamlin needs better qualifying runs. So yeah, Hamlin needs to get stage points. Ryan Blaney, he's 6. He's minus 18 below the cut line. He needs a good day. He needs to get a lot of points. In fact, he needs to at least get a bunch of stage points and something bad to happen to one of the playoff drivers to advance. And as you guys can see down below, Briscoe and Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe in the bottom, 7 and 8. Either of those two have to win in order for them to advance. So I don't know. Bell, he might pull off the same move he did at Charlotte Roval, where he might get in a clutch situation. So it's a must-win for Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell there. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know on the playoff format. So yeah, guys, in conclusion, the race was good. Typical Miami, Homestead Miami racing. All I can say is this race was better than it was in February 2021. So yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. I already rate this race. I gave it a 6 out of 10. So I want to let you guys know on that. And so yeah, guys, that's basically it for this In the NASCAR race review. Kyle Larson wins today's race. I'm happy for that. He was my pick. Martinsville next week is going to be very it's going to be very interesting to watch, and I hope it's not going to be like we saw in the spring. I mean, the spring race was freaking terrible. So, and plus, to make it worse, Hamlin was like 3 laps down at one point and was 28th all race. I mean, he was trash at that race, so yeah, guys. And also, I am going to be doing Martinsville live race reactions for planning on doing Martinsville live race reactions. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that next Sunday. So, guys, for any of you Hamlin fans, cross your fingers. Hope he makes it to the championship 4. And so, yeah, what do you guys think about this race? Let me know in the comments. And we're off to Martinsville, folks. So, anyways, this is Preston signing off. Peace out.